Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for mid-March 2023. We're just going to do a whatever comes up reading here. So whatever comes up is what we're going to talk about. And you start off here in your first row with this divine timing card. It says your angels are working behind the scenes. I kind of feel like this has to do with like literal guidance, as in if you've been feeling lost or unsure of like the projects or businesses or the, whatever it is that you want to work on in life, then I do feel that this is talking about a good deal of clarity coming in for you. And, I think it's something that you've been waiting a long time for, the clarity, the understanding, the, kind of feeling like you're going in the right direction. Part of me does feel that since we have, or will have, Saturn in your sign now, that the clarity is probably coming from that Saturn energy, especially if it's your first house. Even if it's not your first house, doesn't matter. You're still going to be kind of gathering this clarity. And damn, Pisces, I really like this reading. There's a lot of fire energy here. And again, obviously, divine counterparts, if you're looking for love, could be a fire sign. You've been getting a fire sign in your reading, so it wouldn't really surprise me. But I feel like you have to see it. It's like some of you could be too focused on a past heartbreak here. It says new relationship blossoms, but 3 of Swords. So, let's go here. Like I said, divine timing is what this card says. And I feel like the time is now. It's like the universe is like saying, okay, it's time to get moving. But I also do feel a certain sense of, like I said, clarity. In your first row, you have the Page of Wands, the 9 of Pentacles, and the 5 of Swords. I kind of like that you go from the Page of Wands to the Knight of Wands here. Page of Wands is the card of, going on an adventure and starting something new, like a brand new beginning. And the Knight of Wands, to me, is more about being spontaneous. And I kind of am seeing the difference between these two energies, Page of Wands, Knight of Wands. It's like saying to me that anything new that you're thinking about getting started on, it's like, I feel it's encouraging more of the Knight of Wands type of energy, which is, again, being spontaneous, not needing to know all the answers, kind of like learning as you go and things like that. So the Page of Wands kind of represents that. You have the 9 of Pentacles. I do feel like a lot of you are very independent at this time or focused on your own independence. And again, some of you, this could be why there's like love, that last message is saying there's love here, but you have to see it because maybe you're just more focused on yourself at this time. Again, I don't really see that as a bad thing because of this right here. I mean, well, just the fact that you go from 9 of Pentacles to Empress is amazing. I mean, the 9 of Pentacles is the minor arcana version of the Empress. And then going down this way, it's like you're on a journey towards some sort of glow up in your life happening now. So, it doesn't really, to me, it's like maybe that's what you're focused on. You're more focused on the glow up. And again, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You have the 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords can represent like a separation breakup. And, really, I kind of feel like it's talking about a new beginning because we go up to the Magician. The Magician, it kind of represents a new beginning. He is card number 1, and he kind of represents like, I always look at him as a card that really suggests that you need to get started. He kind of is like, okay, like, there's like some sort of transformation that's available to you, but you have to get moving. He's even pointing towards the moon, which is like the Pisces doubt, like being like, oh, I don't know what to do, but you do know what to do. With the Page of Wands, you have the Tower. I have, again, the Tower's been coming up like crazy this month. It's just one of those months, I think, where we could see global Tower moments. I do feel for some of you, it could be like a separation. Again, could represent divine timing. There's usually a lightning bolt striking the top of the Tower. The lightning bolt that is striking the top of the Tower kind of represents clarity. It's like a light bulb moment going off. Seeing reality. The whole point of the Tower is that we have to see reality for what it is. So I do feel maybe in the past, some of you had like a light bulb moment, and this could be, or you're about to have a light bulb moment. With the 9 of Pentacles, you have the 10 of Wands. Yeah, like I would keep things simple. I would try not to overcomplicate things. 10 of Wands is a card of having a lot of responsibilities, carrying a lot of burdens in your life. I don't really look at the 10 of Wands as good or bad. To me, it's kind of like, mostly because the guy on the 10 of Wands, he's about to reach his village in the background. So, and he planted these wants. Like, these responsibilities are things that he wanted. He's about to have a harvest. So really, how bad can it be? Number one. But number two, I do feel kind of like burdened here in your reading. But, really what I feel like it's saying is kind of like, obviously, these burdens are going to lead to this Empress energy. Again, it's like the work isn't being wasted is kind of where I feel like this is going. With the Five of Swords, you have the Four of Wands. Some of you, this could be a separation, but I do really feel it's interesting that you go up here and you have this gate card which says opportunity and home on it. And the Four of Wands doesn't really represent an opportunity maybe, but it kind of does, because it kind of represents an opportunity to complete one thing and to close out a cycle and completely move on to something new. It's like a finish line. I always look at it as like a finish line card. So I do feel like some of you, it's like you're coming up to some sort of, finish line in your life. But is that really the right word? I'm not so sure. Next, you have this clam card. You have this card that says, open up. It's okay to feel vulnerable. Again, for those of you that want love, I would definitely open up at this time. I also feel that vulnerability will be a great superpower for you, Pisces. Like, especially if you have a job that's more like public facing, or if you do something like YouTube or something like that, being vulnerable, being open, sharing your truth, and like all those other things, they're probably just going to make you stand out more, especially as we move through Pluto going into Aquarius. It's like vulnerability, which is basically your truth, is going to be the thing that will attract the most people to you. So I kind of feel this, especially for those of you that want attention at this time in like work or business. I am a big fan. I'm a big fan of getting positive attention right now in general, but again, if you're doing it through like sharing your story or sharing things that make you feel vulnerable, this, could definitely be beneficial. Again, you have this Knight of Wands here, and the Knight of Wands is a card of going on some sort of crazy adventure. And, I call this, like, to me, this card is like, really the builder. He's willing to be spontaneous, really, is how I look at him. He's willing to figure things out as he goes along. He isn't too, like, fixed in how he's going to accomplish something. And again, I kind of feel like this is saying, enjoy the ride to the Empress, just kind of like go with it and see where you end up. You have this King of Wands here, definitely could be a fire sign. Again, take it how it resonates. You have both King and Queen of Wands, whatever gender you're attracted to, doesn't matter. And I do feel there could be a fire sign. If it's not a fire sign, I would just say, it's someone who's bold, assertive, confident, like really stands out. With the King of Wands energy showing up here. I do also feel that like you are being encouraged, obviously, to be embracing, this energy, which is about being bold, being assertive, and also about really nurturing things into existence. I think that the most important thing about the Knight of Wands is he really takes care of something like a baby. Like if he's working on a business, he really, really nurtures it into existence. He doesn't just like kind of try to do the business, right? He does he goes really deep into the things that he's working on. And also he's willing to be spontaneous and figure things out. There is an element of risk here with the Queen of Wands, because Queen of Wands, she kind of does things, and she is the only court Wands card that does not have salamanders on her cloak. These other three have salamanders. Salamanders represent protection from fire, and we see the moon right next to her. So it kind of gives me the feeling that some of you are entering into like uncharted territory, and I think your solution to uncharted territory is Six of Pentacles. Like if you don't know like what you are heading into in life, the Six of Pentacles is a card that says plant some seeds and see what grows. Like if you're entering into a new relationship, just try some new things with the person, and if it works, keep going. The things that don't work, stop. If you're starting a business, same thing, plant some seeds, do some things that you feel like you should be doing. Be spontaneous. Be willing to try new things with the Knight of Wands. Like, if you have a business, new marketing techniques, new ideas, learn from new sources. All those things are going to be rewarded with Six of Pentacles, especially right now. I talk about this all the time. With Pluto and Aquarius, it's like if you're not experimenting, then you're going to have a hard time. So, I would like try new things is what I'd say here. I do also feel like there's some balance coming in here, by the way, with the Six of Wands. So if you're hoping to balance things out, like with a person that you're with right now, then I do feel this could be like things balancing out. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups, I feel, is saying follow your heart. I always say that the Queen of Cups, she values her feelings over everything else. Like if her heart tells her to do one thing, but society is telling her to move in another direction, she doesn't care what society says. She moves towards her heart there is a certain level of bravery here, Pisces, in your reading. Like, I'm definitely picking up on it now where you are going to have to be brave. I like to remind Pisces that it's like people aren't meant to understand you, Pisces. That's why you're Pisces, right? And so if you're like hoping like, oh, I hope people understand this business that I'm going to start. No, they're not going to understand. Your job is to just do it anyway and make it successful, and then people will understand. So, I think that's like one of the things that you have to kind of like get over here in this reading. With this Knight of Wands, you have the the King of Wands. You have this Knight of Pentacles. Slow movement. Again, if you're hoping for love, I kind of feel like you're taking your time maybe, or a person could be taking their time moving towards you. Not really. I wouldn't really call this a love reading, but if you want it, it's here. I feel like it'd be very fulfilling, mutual attraction. I mean, I shouldn't say it's not a love reading. I mean, this is amazing. And you have that romance card at the end or whatever it's called. So, I see that, but it could be a little bit slow in the direction. I also feel like you're slow, Pisces. And I'm not calling you out. So, I'm a Pisces, so I'm calling myself out here. And like, I kind of feel, especially for those of you that are working on projects, businesses, it's like I feel you could be seeing a lot more progress like right now. And so I kind of feel like this is saying like, everything you need to do, just do it. Stop questioning yourself. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Pentacles. I'm telling you right now, there's like major money available to you here, Pisces, but obviously you're going to have to, it's not going to just magically appear in your life. You have to put the work in to get this. And another card of nurturing things, and also a card of like a garden. I call this card the garden sometimes because there's a garden on the front of the Ace of Pentacles. You have the Six of Pentacles, planting seeds. Nine of Pentacles, she's growing something behind her. King of Wands, he nurtures something like a garden into existence. Empress, she grows things. So it's like whatever you're working on, I think that the best analogy is to treat it like a garden, whether it's a relationship, a business, or otherwise. You have to water it, feed it, fertilize it, pull the weeds out of it, like all that other stuff. So as long as you're nurturing something like that, it will be successful. It doesn't matter what it is. Next, you have this triangle card. It says choices, indecision. You have this gate card. It says opportunities and home. Kind of feel this is encouraging you. It does say choices, but I kind of feel like there's a new path. The Four of Wands really was saying to me that something is closing out, or, it's kind of getting a message like that. And I feel like this gate here is like a new opportunity. So I do feel it's encouraging you to move closer, more towards new opportunities. I don't really know how to say what I want to say right now, Pisces, other than, it's like some of you I feel could be like abruptly closing things out. You could be going from like one business to another like overnight, and it could just, I think maybe to outside people, they see it as an abrupt, but I feel it's something that you've been working on for like mentally for a long time. And that's very Piscean. I feel like in a lot of ways, Pisces can kind of think about things for a very long time before they actually close something out, move on to the next thing, or whatever the case may be. So I kind of see that here. And I do feel the new opportunity obviously is going to be where it's at. Even the Magician's pointing to the moon. And again, the moon can represent fears, fantasies, illusions, and kind of like not being sure of like what to do. But it is Pisces. And, I feel like this is encouraging you to kind of like remember why you set out to do something in the first place. So, if you have like a good purpose behind the journey that you're on, then I feel you're going to find a lot of success. And I do feel a lot of this reinvention energy. Again, Saturn in your first house. Your first house is how you present yourself to the world. So he has a snake wrapped around his waist, and it represents reinvention. It really would not surprise me if some of you were like reinventing yourselves, if you were changing your appearance in some way. Naturally when Saturn is in your house, you can like lose weight, get more fit, you can, do all those things. And so if you're doing any of those things, again, this reinvention could be the thing that's kind of like motivating you to become more successful. It kind of reminds me of like I don't know about anyone else, but it's like when I make my bed, when I change all my sheets and remake my bed, I sleep so good, like that first night, right? I don't think this is going to be like a first night situation. I think, but if you are like changing your skin, if you are changing who you are, reinventing yourself, it kind of just gives me that like boost of confidence. So I feel that for some of you. You also have this Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands about kind of really charging towards something, moving towards something very quickly. She's holding the sunflower, and it represents the sun. So I feel there are things that make you happy, or you have certain things in your life that make you feel happy, and I feel like you need to move towards your happiness. Queen of Cups moving towards your heart, Queen of Wands moving towards your happiness or your desire is going to lead to you being an Empress, you glowing up. And I think that too many people hold themselves back from their true happiness. So it's like if you're doing something that you don't like to do or that you hate, I feel like it's time to make the change. It's time for more fulfillment. You have the Nine of Cups, which is like wish fulfillment or just fulfillment in general. But I almost feel like you don't really have this yet. The Nine of Cups like feeling is what I'm feeling here, Pisces. So let's see. This is a pretty interesting reading. With the the Magician, you have the Knight of Wands. Yes, I mean, really, it's like saying to me that there's going to be, like, don't worry about changing things up. Like, if you're getting started on something, don't worry, like, don't project so far into the future that you're, like, saying, oh, I can't launch this business because, like, I'm making all these changes, or I have to make these changes, or I don't know. I get, like, some overthinking energy here on the Knight of Wands, so I'd be careful of overthinking. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Temperance card. So the Temperance card is a card of patience, and it is a card of turning one thing into another. And I feel that for you. I feel that you have the power to turn any situation you wish to turn it around. So, definitely would be a good time for that. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Judgment card. You have the Judgment and Tower in the same diagonal here. Judgment and Tower, to me, is the most powerful combination in the tarot. To me, it represents like a really major wake-up call. So again, I do feel that here on that Divine Timing card that some of you are having a big kind of like, wake-up call here. I want to read what this middle thing says. It says, things will come together at exactly the right time. So again, I feel like the time is now. I feel like this reading is saying like whatever you've been waiting for could be happening. Next, for your next thing, you have this Maiden card. It says a new relationship blossoms. Yes, but I feel like you have to open your eyes to it, Pisces, for sure. I do feel like it could be a blonde person, by the way. It is definitely standing in out to me here. You have this and the Empress. So, it doesn't matter what gender you're attracted to. It could be blonde, but take it how it resonates. Maybe they dye their hair blonde. Who cares, right? But it could be any person. But I feel like you have to see it because you have the Three of Swords, the Moon, and the Empress. I feel like some of you could be focused too much on a past hurt with the Three of Swords and the Moon. And again, this obviously isn't going to be for all of you, so take it how it resonates. But for some of you, I feel like you need to like forgive here and heal with the Three of Swords because it's just going to lead to, what you really want, the Empress. It's just going to lead to, glow up vibes, happiness, abundance, like good things. But again, I feel like you need to see. It's almost like, look at how this person, again, it doesn't matter what gender you're attracted to, but look at how this person is in that window. It's like they're longing for something. But I almost feel like this is a person who's like waiting for you to wake up or, take it how this could be you as well. You could be the one that is longing for a person. But what I feel like, look, she's in a house, as I always say, it's like you got to get out of the house. And you have to like go do stuff in public. So, I definitely feel that for a lot of you, but I also feel, I do kind of feel like this is a person who's like waiting for you to wake up or heal or let go of something. Three of Swords. For others, what I would say is I would definitely watch your health at this time and stay healthy. Again, Saturn in your sign. I am not a doctor, so I have no clue what I'm talking about. But what I would say is Pisces, Saturn in Pisces is really good for you to fix your health or to improve your health. And so if you're doing any of those things, I think that it would be a great time to start doing that. And, that's what I'll say there. You have the Moon, you showing up in a very strong position, puts you in a position of power and strength. But, I also feel like it's kind of saying, remember why you set out to do something. And sometimes I think putting things into perspective can kind of like motivate us to keep working towards these mountains. I also feel like it's for like some of you, I feel you could be making a bigger deal out of something than it needs to be. So, you could be like worrying, oh, like if I start this business, it's going to fail. Like I feel like some of the stories that you're telling yourself might be a little bit over exaggerated. So be careful of the stories. With the Three of Swords, you have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is quick success. I do feel this could be communication coming in from a person, but also, as I always say, Eight of Wands is my card of socializing. So if you want love, go socialize, go be with people. With the Moon card, you have the Ace of Cups. Yes, definitely could be another Pisces for some of you, although, again, there's a ton of fire here. You've been all up in every single fire sign's business, Pisces, so, there you go, but take it how it resonates. I feel like this could also be saying like follow your heart. If you don't know what to do, your heart will never steer you wrong, right? So, I kind of feel that here with this Ace of Cups. I feel like it's saying that, you don't usually have to justify a good decision. So I feel for some of you, if you're like trying to make a decision, that for some of you, I feel the good decision, you don't have to justify it. You don't have to come up with justifications for it. And maybe the bad decision you do. For others, again, I feel like your heart is pulling you in a direction, but your outside world is pulling you in a different direction. I feel like this is saying ignore it. Ignore the outside world. With the Empress, you have the Three of Pentacles. I feel like people want to help you on your journey as well, so I'm a big fan of teamwork right now. I also feel like you're kind of like increasing the quality of your life in general. That's literally what's popping into my head, and the Empress could definitely represent just an increase in the quality of your life. We're going to pull 5 main themes now. You have this empathy card here. Some of you, it's like, you have that communication card with the Three of Swords and the Eight of Wands. So if someone is communicating with you, you could be expressing like empathy towards that person. And I don't know, I feel like it's creating good karma for you. So there you go. You have this status card. I feel like you had this with me before. So some of you could be attracting a person of status, or you could be getting into like a fancy couple, divine counterpart type of situation here. I also feel some of you could just be gaining status. You have this egotism card. I would be careful with people who have an ego. Again, just remember, if like people are telling you that your ideas are stupid or whatever, number one, keep your ideas to yourself right now. But number two, what I would say is it's like they just can't see it for themselves. So, I would definitely be careful of that with this card. Next, you have this adaptability card, Knight of Wands, for sure. I feel the Knight of Wands is really, really, you have it twice in this reading. I really feel it's encouraging you, number one, to be adaptable, but number two, don't get disappointed if you like set out to do something and your first idea doesn't work like immediately. Like you might set out to do something in business or work, and maybe what you're trying doesn't work right away. I feel like the Knight of Wands is like saying, yeah, but there are other ways that you could do the same exact thing, just a little bit differently. So like learn how to do it, but also try new things, try different things. Like don't just give up right away. And finally, you have this quarrel card. I would be careful of fighting with people who have an ego. I would just ignore it, number one, if you have people that are like causing your problems. I would also be careful of anyone from the past here with the quarrel card. They could be coming in to like mess up your day, especially if you have healed from something, or if you want to heal from something, then I would be careful here. But this looks really good, Pisces, really good stuff. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.